All right. I believe everything is set up. So today we are doing Premier Draft Aetherdrift. So if we get 3 wins, we can buy the season pass, which will give us a draft token, which lets us do more. If we get 2 wins, then we're gonna keep saving up on gems and move over to Pioneer, or Explorer technically, but they're the same thing. So let's get started, shall we? Alright, so Aetherdrift is a much slower draft format than normal. So we're going to want to play, big end game type of stuff. Like green. Probably, I do love me some green-black graveyard shenanigans. Alright, click ready. Wait for the last 2 people to hopefully click ready as well. And we are still waiting. Well, it looks like this table is not going to work out. That's unfortunate. Oh, we got one. One more. How do you, like genuinely, how do you not select ready? Like, it doesn't take that long to queue up. Surely, like, people aren't queuing up and then immediately leaving their computer and not returning. Like, it makes no sense to me. Alright. Got another one. Still waiting on 2 people. Only waiting on 1 person this time. Please. Alright, we got there. Alright. Got all sorts of stuff in this pack. March of the World Ooze is probably not that good. I'm going to take... I don't know. It's fine. Probably not going to end up playing it, but... Alright. We could try Galvanic Blast. Play like a red-green or maybe red-blue. Pact Altair is typically pretty good, though. Yeah, let's take Pact Altair. I do love artifact ETB stuff. Alright. Broodheart Engine is fine. Definitely would push us towards green-black, which we're sort of in. The rest of these cards seem extremely unexciting. I mean, Lightning Strike, maybe. But let's take Broodheart Engine and be green-black. Because Lightning Strike wouldn't be in either of the colors we've picked so far. Alright. Let's see what we can get this time. We are waiting on opponents to give us a pack, and we get it. Alright. Grim Bauble is pretty great for a number of reasons. It's an artifact for Pact Altair, and it's a removal spell. Is any of the rest of this good? Not especially. Stall Out is like fine, but we're just gonna take a 1-mana removal spell. That seems pretty good to me. Alright. Let's see if we can get a pack soon. Seems like we are picking a bit faster than the other people. Alright. Blue-red is way too far off of what I'm doing. So we could take Ripclaw Wrangler, which is pretty terrible, I think. We could take just like a 2-mana thing that'll be a 3/3 sometimes. We could take a Bestow Greatness. This is removal, right? It's removal, it's a flying blocker. Not exciting, but I'll take it. Alright. And in this pack, probably between these two, maybe Scrap Compactor would be like something to consider. I'll take this. We're in green-black. That's like graveyard stuff. This is probably better for us than average. Like a 3-mana 3/3 isn't so embarrassing. Alright. Let's see what we can get this time. We could get another Surveyor or Sarcophagus. Let's take a Sarcophagus. It'll be a 2-mana 3/3 a decent amount of time. We do have a Pact Doll Terror, so like artifact value is a real thing for us. And we are still like pretty flexible on pivoting out of our colors if we need to. Alright. I have been completely obliterated by Maximum Overdrive in the past. Death Touch and Indestructible and a 1/1 counter is crazy. Alright, Ancient Vendetta is useless. Oil Gorger is not great. Surveyor is not great. Let's take a Bestow Greatness. I do like combat tricks. And Intimidation Tactics or Gibberick Omnivore. Intimidation Tactics is probably pretty good, right? Like 1 mana, take your big scary bomb, or slow you down a lot by taking an early threat. Like, pretty much everyone's gonna have artifacts or creatures in their hands, right? Like, there's just no way. Alright, this pack is a complete brick. We get a pretty decent, I guess. We can probably pump that up. Bestow Greatness super late. It's kind of fun. Alright. Muyan Ling, obviously out of colors. Thundering Brood Dragon. 6 mana, 6/5, blow something up. Leaves behind a pretty good body. Yeah, we're taking that. Crew 3 is a lot, but it also has Cycling 2. Duretti is showing up. Earth Rumbler, you love to see it. This card is busted. It's 5 mana 7/6 Vigilance Trample with basically no cost most of the time. We do need some early plays. Stampeding Scurryfoot is pretty good. It's an early play that isn't completely embarrassing late game. The Mole is perfect for the deck. Just fills the graveyard some, draws a card. Let's see. Run Over. Run Over is removal. We kind of need removal. So we'll take it. There's an option to pick like a tutor, but we would need max speed for that to be super reliable. And I don't fully know how well we're going to be getting max speed in this deck, so... Alright. We could take another Bestow Greatness. We could take this. This is like kind of removal, but not really. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's fine. Alright, this is bad. Rise from the Wreck is great. I love that for me. Risky Shortcut is great. Feeling good about draw 2, drain you for 2. Starting Column is like a mana rock. I guess I probably need more things. I don't really need more combat tricks at this point. I have like 2 Bestow Greatness, 1 Maximum Overdrive. I don't think a 4th combat trick is ever making the cut. And maybe a first mana rock will. I would like more cards like Pothole Mole. And less of this. Take a random card. Doesn't really matter for that pack. I feel like there's probably somewhere else drafting green-black at this table. It's way too late to flip now. Locust Spray is like not impressive. Deathless Pilot is decent, honestly. Alright. Get like one more pick, maybe 2. Get 1 more pick. It's another blue card. Pyrewood Gearhulk. No, not doing that. Dredger's Insight is pure gas. I love that. Picking that every day of the week. And let's see, Beast Rider Vanguard is like pretty good. Might want to take another Scurryfoot, but Beast Rider Vanguard is pretty cool as well. Alright. Wicker Folk Indomitable, 4 mana, 4/3. You can get it back. I'm just going to take another Pothole Mole. We need like every way to fill the graveyard we can get for our synergy to work better. Another Rise from the Wreck. Alright, this pack is crazy. Like, that pack is insane. Hopefully, like, pretty much some good stuff is gonna wheel. Like, there's just too much good stuff for everyone to take all of it. Alright, Spin Out seems fantastic. Just a good old-fashioned murder. Never gonna complain about a murder. I do sort of need more actual top end. Like March of the World Ooze is not the top end we're looking for. Like we have like 2 big creatures, 3 if you count vehicles. A 1/1 Death Touch is pretty good. I'm going to take a 1/1 Death Touch. Alright, we find another good top end. Gaining life is clutch for stabilizing. I think it also has like reach or something, right? Yep, it has reach too, which is awesome. Well, we're taking the Omnivore. It's not super exciting in this deck. I don't have that card that tutors stuff. Alright, well, looks like we're taking another Omnivore. Good old 2 mana 3/2 vanilla. Probably gonna cut one or both of those. Alright, so we could take Wreck Remover or Racer's Scoreboard. Let's take some selection. Another Omnivore. Random card. Forest. Alright, well, our deck seems like it's probably going to be pretty good. So let's start with like the relatively easy cuts. Racer Scoreboard, Starting Column, Ether Jacket. How many artifacts do we have? We have 6. Putting those 3 in would bring us up to like 9. I think Pact Altera probably just not going to be consistent enough. Especially since like a lot of these artifacts are pretty bad and I kind of want to cut them. So this deck, I'm just looking at the curve and I have literal 0 4-drops. So that's interesting. Not going to do anything about that. Let's cut the Omnivores. And the Locust Spray. And the Side Swipe. And probably need to cut like 1 Bestow Greatness. So we have a good number of 1-drops, most of which do stuff later. We have a good chunk of 2-mana creatures. Okay, we have 2 2-mana creatures. Maybe that's not enough. Maybe we need more of those. So what? We bring in an Omnivore too, maybe. And let's see, what should we cut? See, the thing is, like, all these cards are great. Okay, I think we bring in, like, one Omnivore and cut... probably another Bestow Greatness. Alright. I don't know how good this deck is. We might need to bring in like even more creatures later. But we're going to try this. We've got good synergy. We've got a ton of removal. We've got a decent number of haymakers at the top end. And a lot of value. We have a lot of value in this deck. Alright, this is great if I draw a third land. I would love to turn all of these nerves into 6/6s. So as long as we draw a third land, this hand is fine. It'll Pothole Mole will find us another one. Alright. Let's play a land and pass. Interface Ace. Alright, let's play our Broodheart Engine. They look like they're doing green-white. Interface Ace is not good in green-white aggro. And it's not awful, but like it's not good. So hopefully they're doing something wacky. And by wacky I mean not very good. Plains, forest. Destroy target artifact. Fair enough. You got me. Let's play a mole. Please give me a land. Alright, it gave me a land. I only have one forest, which is a bit concerning for the March of the World Ooze. Are they passing? What phase is it? Combat? Alright, well, I do love it when my my green-white opponent, which is like traditionally aggressive colors, does nothing for the first couple of turns. Seems pretty good for me. I'm going to play out some creatures. Obviously not attacking into their 0/4. If I draw one more forest, I can play March of the World Ooze, and then it's actually like really crazy here. Alright, so that, they can saddle that. And run over damage equal to its power. Yeah, okay, so we are going to just kill that real quick. And pass. No point running out the Grim Bobble. Presumably they'll play something that this kills, right? Alright. Well, I suppose we can attack. We probably should have attacked last turn. I wasn't thinking about it, but we can push damage here. And this Grim Bobble should, in theory, kill the ace. Which isn't great, but it is also not nothing. Alright, and now we can sack the Bobble to scry 2 and look for a forest. Alright, they've played a 4-mana 1/2, which I guess reanimates things. I'm going to scry looking for a forest. I love both of those. Keep them in that order. Play forest. Play March of the World Ooze. Attack you for 18. You have to chump block. the old classic green-white opponent does effectively nothing and then dies. I assume they're dead here. Unless they have a board wipe. Alright, they have a board wipe. But I have a Deathless Pilot. So let's bring that back to my hand and play it. And then I could cycle this, but I'm not going to. I'm going to cast it to destroy their thing. And then win the game. Man, when Deathless Pilot being a 6-mana 6/6 that returns itself is pretty good, actually. Alright. Opponent had a board wipe, but like they still did nothing for the first many turns of the game. That's a pretty easy win. Definitely didn't feel like we won that one. Felt like our opponent lost that one. But, you know, we take those. Every win counts, no matter how you get it. Alright, this is 2 mana for 2 drops. Which I guess is fine. Dredger's Insight can find us another 2-drop. The question is, do I lead Omnivore to try to pressure them? Or do I lead Insight to just get the value set up? We'll see what they do. I do kind of need to find a land with the Dredger's Insight. Alright, I find a land anyway. They have that. I'm gonna play my Omnivore. You know, I'm probably not going to win this game with the aggro plays, but no reason to not try at least. And we hit a land drop. We hit a land drop, so I may as well play out a pilot. Given the choice, I'll keep the Vanguard for later, just because, you know, they might use a removal spell on something this turn, and the Vanguard is better than either of these in the late game. They're considering just activating Scrap Compactor. Alright, Pothole Mole. We're going to play that instead of the Dredger's Insight. Actually, no. It's going to be better to Dredger's Insight this turn because Pothole Mole is return a land from your graveyard to the battlefield. So if we Dredger's Insight and hit 2 land, then the Pothole Mole is guaranteed. Alright, we only hit 1 land. But that's fine. Still lets me play out Beast Rider Vanguard. If I hit another land, do I just like activate the Vanguard, or would that be crazy? That's probably wrong. So what are they even doing? Like Rakdos, but it's slow? This is my second opponent who has done functionally nothing for the first multiple turns of the game. Alright, I can take 4, that's fine. Alright, we hit a land. We attack. And I think we Pothole Mole here. Just keep the value train coming. I have 3 green sources, so I'll take a 3rd black source. I have maximum overdrive to save something if that becomes important. I might, like, use it on the Pothole Mole to block the Thrill Roller if they crew it up. Feeling pretty good about this game. Like, we are pressuring them and we have good value. Alright, so that is Flying Haste. So they are getting there. Rise from the wreck. Creature, mount, vehicle, creature with no abilities. Alright, so we're not getting a mount, but we're getting some other stuff with that, which is pretty exciting. Alright, creature, we'll get a Gravestalker. Mount, submit 0. Vehicle, we'll get an Earth Rumbler. Creature with no abilities, we'll get the Omnivore. We gain a life, just for fun. So how much does this cost? It's artifacts and creatures. So it's only reduced by 1. How am I able to... Oh, it's offering to cycle it. I think I just pass the turn and leave up spin out here. Like, I'm so close to killing them with damage that I just kind of want to prevent nonsense from happening. Like, if they can trigger max speed before combat, I think I'll blow up the Oil Gorger. Reach, start your engines. And max speed, something not very interesting. Alright, they're just going to combat. That doesn't have lifelink yet. Now it does, but it doesn't matter because they're going to die. So I blow that up. We blow that up, and we try to win the game. So they can crew it, but that doesn't matter. It's just going to uncrew. And now we jam for lethal, and win. Yeah, it turns out pressuring your opponent works sometimes. And we drew a whole bunch of cards and just didn't need them. So that was fun. You know, they say that the worst way to lose a game is with 7 cards in hand. The best way to win a game is with 7 cards in hand. All right, we are 1 win away from being able to afford the Mastery Pass. And we haven't lost yet. So let's just keep this train going. I would love to even like go, obviously 7-0 would be pretty great. This hand's got a curve. Alright, so we can take that or that. Let's take that. This is just going to trade with a thing at some point, which is not a huge deal. Alright, they have their own intimidation tactics. Probably going to take the Beast Rider Vanguard. Yep. I'm gonna cycle this at end of turn. We're just so far away from 6 mana, and I have nothing else going on. Alright, we drew a removal spell. This is a sorcery, so I have to do it now. I didn't really find anything great off of it. Yeah, we sure do have a lot of lands. I think I play the Scurryfoot and hold up Spin Out. It's tempting to hold it just so that I can exhaust it next turn and be good to go. Alright, so they're buffing up their Venom Sac. I think I probably hold Spin Out for something scarier. Like a 3/3 is not that big of a problem. A 12 billionth land is quite a bit of a problem. We are flooding like crazy. I guess we attack here. And I'll make the trade if they offer it. And if they have another pump spell, then that's fine. The spin out will still take that away. Alright. A Chitin Gravestalker is pretty good. It's still pretty expensive. I think we attack and cast this. I'm not gonna block this, but I would like to have a creature on board so that I can turn things around. Migrating Ketrodon. Alright. Do I kill this now or on their turn, or do I just like play the Ketrodon and I think I honestly just ignore the Lagak this turn, play the Ketrodon. They're probably gonna have to leave that back to block. And now we're at 12, which is a comfy life total. Yeah, and they concede. Alright. Not sure what our opponent was doing. Had a bunch of cards in hand. Didn't really use them well. We flooded out, but then we top decked well a couple times and got there. Alright. So we are at 3-0. Which is huge because it means that I can afford the Mastery Pass to get the free value off of that. Now let's push all the way to 7-0 maybe. Getting to 7-0 would be pretty huge. Even just like, obviously at this point, every win is so much value. Like the next win means that this draft was functionally free. It's like costs 1,500 gems to enter, and I get 1,400 back. And then the one after that is even better. It means we're making a profit in gems off of this. All right, so we find another opponent. All right, this is a decent curve. Like, it's going to be tough for them to aggro us down with this. Not impossible, but hard. The question is, do we trade the Engine Rat for the 2/1? I think the answer is no. I think we probably are going to run this over at some point and just like have the Engine Rat available. Of course, our opponent, completely likely that they have like a Galvanic Blast or something. Alright, they cycle an Artillerist. That's fine. But now they have the mana to exhaust this if they want. Which they might. It does mean, I mean, every turn they spend not impacting the board is pretty good for me. Alright, they play an Artillerist. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. So I can just kill the Artillerist. Yeah, let's do that. You deal a death touch damage to that. And I think we jam now. I think like them not getting the opportunity to exhaust this is pretty good for me. Alright, the pilot is pretty good. Do I cast the pilot this turn? I think not. I think I just chip in for 1 and risky shortcut. They might counterspell this. Top or bottom? I think we top it and draw it and play it. And March of the World Ooze comes off the top. One more forest, and then we have a 6/6 engine rat. That could be fun. Alright, Thunderhead Gunner. So that probably puts an end to our fun of attacking with the engine rat. Now we pass. It's mana value 5, so this doesn't even kill that. So now we are at the waiting for a forest top deck point. Like if we top deck a forest and we can attack with a pair of 6/6s, like we actually just win. And because that's so good, do I cycle the Broodwagon here to try to like increase the odds of that? I might. I think I will, actually. Like, they still don't even have... Like, I can kill that, I guess, but... I really just want to draw a forest. Give myself a couple options. Alright, we get a swamp instead. And I am going to play a Ketradon. They definitely have some sort of instant, but not going to worry about that. I probably could have gotten a free chip in with the engine rat. Oh boy, free viewers, goodbye. Alright. I probably could have gotten a free point in with the engine rat. Like, they can't attack because of the Ketradon anyway. They get another one of those. Alright, there is the forest. Da 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 da. Attack with a bunch of 6/6s. They go to 4. They're at 4. I have 3 lethal attackers. March the World Ooze is kind of cracked. Like, I have won multiple games off of this already. Let's see, that's a spell on my turn. I get a 3/3 elephant, which is probably never going to happen. Alright. Alright. They're not dead yet. Rise from the wreck. May as well cast it, see what we get. Omnivore, no mounts. Broodwagon. Already picked the Omnivore. So let's pick those guys up. And swing in. They have to double chump here. Which seems pretty good for me. Do I even play out the Omnivore? Like, alright, so technically this hedges against triple removal spell, and blue-red is not going to be the Wrath colors, so... So yeah, that was a game. That was certainly a game. We are crushing it here. We even completed a quest of some kind. Up to 1,400 gems. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that this particular game is going quite well. The deck seems cracked. Like... Alright, this is a lot less exciting. But we have interaction. We have something which will find something, presumably. Alright. What do you have? They're pausing as if they have something. A 1-mana cycler? What? 1 mana? Yeah, alright. 1 mana cycler. So they're blue-white. Alright. None of these cards are, like, exceptional. I think I just take the Lynx. Like, it's the most, like, reasonably aggressive-ish thing. I might have wanted to take the Detention Chariot as, like, the highest impact thing, but they're probably just going to cycle it. Yeah. So opponent won't be able to get free planes off of the Lynx, which is fine. Alright. Death Touch creature, not great against flying creature. Forest. We already have triple green, so let's take double black. And they play a 2-mana 3/3. Alright, well let's play that swamp they know about, play an Engine Rat, and pass. We might maximum overdrive to eat the Sundial and keep our guy. Alright, so they're definitely pumping up the Engineer. Alright, they don't even attack with the Sundial. Do I cycle this? I think I'm casting that. So next turn we get Earth Rumbler, which is Vigilance Trample. Turn after that we get Ketradon. The Engine Rat is holding them back a little bit. What does this happen when they get to max speed? They can cast that from their graveyard. Alright, they do have Stock Up, which is a legacy playable card, so that's fun. So now we just get to see if this is going to be good enough. We don't have anything in the graveyard to fire up the Earth Rumbler. So in this exhaust it'll be a 4/6, so the Ketradon should be able to beat it. Right. Roadside Blow-Up, pick up the Engine Rat. Alright, well, Ketradon, they are tapped out currently, so that's nice. This has Reach, so unless they have a removal spell, all of this is going to be shut down. They might have a removal spell. They've missed land drops, so they definitely have a ton of gas. Yep, Perilous Snare. Alright, well I'm going to crew the Earth Rumbler real quick. So this stops them from attacking for quite as much. But I am going to need to deal with like all of that stuff that's going on. Well, I can play out a bunch of good value stuff. So now I have a Death Touch creature, but I need a way of stopping this, and preferably that as well. Like, I might genuinely just lose to them pumping up a giant flyer. It's extraordinarily possible. I don't have any creatures or vehicles in my graveyards to reanimate with the Broodheart engine. Alright, they have another flyer now, smaller one. I don't need another land, I need spells. Alright, Grim Bobble is pretty good. Kills the backup flyer at least. Doesn't do anything about the main one. Engine rat activations are not going to get me there. They're at 20. And attacking for 5 this turn. So I can Grim Bobble, Surveil 2, Broodheart Engine, Surveil another one. Yeah, this is a bit of a dicey situation. And they also have like a billion D mana. They're exhausting that. So I take 6 this turn and go to 4. So I need to find the answer this turn. Alright, sack the Grim Bobble. Please find something. They're at 20 and I have 2 creatures. Yeah, these both have to go, unfortunately. 2 of the craziest cards in the deck, but not what I need right now. Swamp, not what I need right now. This doesn't have reach. Good game. Yep, we died to a giant flyer. We just never found the removal for it, unfortunately. Maybe I should have just taken the flyer instead of the links. But I don't know, they did miss a bunch of land drops that they probably wouldn't have otherwise. It's hard to feel too bad about it. Yeah, so maybe my turn 1 discard choice was wrong and lost me that game. But I don't know. I mean, I have so much removal in this deck. It's weird to not find any of it. Alright, this hand is great. So I think we lead on the Omnivore to stabilize. And then we start doing graveyard value stuff after that. Opponent's apparently got a bit of a hard choice. Hello. Let's see what you have. Swamp Gas Guzzler. Alright. 1 mana, 2/1. Their engines are definitely starting. It's going to be hard to stop them completely. Hopefully the Omnivore will slow them down. They're pretty likely to have a removal spell to help push max speed through. If they don't, I am 100% trading here. And like, even if they have a combat trick, the trade probably still stops them from getting max speed, which is huge. Alright, so they're going to take Run Over as the only option there. Which is not great for me, but it's also like fine. Alright, they don't attack. So we can play a Pothole Mole, and we do need to hit a land for this to get value. Which we do. Unfortunately at the cost of my poor World Ooze. We'll hold back blockers, try to deny them max speed. If we can hold them off at 2, that's pretty great. Alright, they kill the Omnivore. And the Mole. Okay. So they are going to be getting up to 3 this turn. And I don't have more creatures. I guess a Scurryfoot is kind of a creature. Let's do some Dredger's Inciting. And I guess we're taking a land and playing a 1/1, which does block both of these. And I think given the choice, I'll block this because it gets menaced later. They are going to get max speed, which certainly sucks for me. They only attack with one thing. This denies them max speed. If they have a combat trick, they have a combat trick. Now they could just have a way of getting it artificially with like a drain or something. They have a lot of 1 toughness guys. We get a Rise from the Wreck, which I think is kind of nuts here. So let's grab a Mole, no mounts, no vehicles, and Omnivore. Alright, so it wasn't actually that good. But it also gains us a life for what it's worth. And we get to play out an Omnivore. Rise from the Wreck, just a good solid 2-for-1 there. And we'll see what else they have. Alright, so that will drain me for 2 and give them max speed, which is incredible for them. I think I'm still favored. I think I block the doll if they attack. They don't attack. Alright, so that can tap to Surveil 1. That can sack a thing to draw a card. I think we hold off on the Broodwagon and we just Grimbobble the doll and Pothole Mole them. So now Pothole Mole kind of stonewalls them. So they're gonna sack that to draw a card. And we play a Mole, find another land. We have 3 of each. Doesn't matter which I take. So next turn I can play the Broodwagon, get rid of the Gas Guzzler, and start going on the offensive. Engine Rat is not really what I want to be seeing here. And especially that is concerning. So this is mana value 4 or less that it blows up. Alright, let's kill the Gas Guzzler. So now they can't like blank all of my removal spells and draw a card every time. And we don't have any attacks this turn. We can crew up the Broodwagon with the Omnivore. They can't saddle that. Saddle 4 is a lot. Okay, they can saddle that. They have a 7/2. Alright, so I need to defeat the 7/2. That has indestructible. I don't know how I'm going to deal with that. Hopefully just find a removal spell. I'm going to upkeep stop Grimbottle, since I have 2 lands in hand. Alright, find me a removal spell, Grimbobble, please. Neither of those are removal spells. And I'm too low on life to just take that. Alright, we find a card which is much worse than either of those, so that sucks. I think we probably just lose here. Because now they can also Grimbauble Surveil. Was there a creature or vehicle I could get that would have been good? Not really. So we can chump block at least. But, oh no, Deathless Pilot in the graveyard. So now they can crew this. Now they can crew this and have the Hunger Tyrant just like available. Lands, am I right? Alright, so they choose not to attack with the Calaxion. And I think I have to chump block here, unfortunately. And they return Deathless Pilot to their hand. And lands, am I right? I'm dead, right? They attack. They play this, saddle that, attack with everything. I can block literally one thing and then die. Brutal. I had one more land in hand. I had one more land in play than them and 3 more lands in hand. I just needed like a removal spell for the 5/5, and then I would have stabilized quite nicely. Didn't happen. Well, let's try to get a win here. This hand is awful. It does literally nothing ever. This is like fine, I guess. I think we have to bottom the run over. No, we need to keep a removal spell. I think we bottom the Gravestalker and just hope that the rest of the stuff we have is enough. Their aggro, which is bad news for me. Like, obviously if I can stabilize, that'll be great. But I don't really have all that much. Yeah, and they are swinging hard. All right, we find an Engine Rat. So we can at least not die to their first threat. Let's take the block. Alright, and now we can play a mole. Probably find a land. Yep. Boy, do we. Let's take Third Forest for World Ooze reasons. Alright, they have a Worker Folk Indomitable. I have an Omnivore which blocks that. Yeah, I think we just trade off every opportunity we get and just have better value in the long run. So actually, I can just run that over. And I have a lot of stuff in the graveyard. I have 3 creatures in the graveyard for Earth Rumbler. They have a Flying Haster. Do I Dredger's Insight here? No, I think it has to be just slam Earth Rumbler and start trying to race. Like, we hit them for 10 next turn if they swing. And this has Vigilance. Alright, so they're just going to swing again. Now, Earth Rumbler Dredger's Insight unironically gains me like a respectable amount of life. Which I'm going to need because I keep drawing freaking lands. Alright, we spiked a Deathless Pilot into the yard. Which, I guess we take it just because that lets us cast it this turn. And it can crew the Earth Rumbler. Let's crew that up. Swing for 10. And still have this guy back on defense. Can even gain me life by exiling things. They are cycling an intimidation tactics. That bodes well for me. And they play a 4-1. Alright. So that gains lifelink, but it's not gonna matter. So you crew up by eating the engine rat, probably. Gain me a life. And swing for lethal. This has trample. That has 1 toughness. Alright. Waiting to see if they have anything. If they have a removal spell for the Earth Rumbler, then maybe. But if this is their plan, they die. Good game. Alright, we get another W. We love to see it. And random ICRs. 1,600 gems and 4 packs. Already a pretty amazing deal. But every win makes it better. Alright, this is not exciting, but probably fine. We can cycle this on 2 if we need to. I would strongly prefer not to. Alright, opponent names red. Another red-black. So I have a Broodheart engine now, which is mildly helpful. Grim Javelineer. That's pretty scary. I'm going to want to kill that if given the opportunity. Absolutely not on the Broodwagon. So let's play a mole. And get a land back. Love the free value. I'll trade with this every day of the week. Opponent only has a single black source. They could have chosen to have more black sources, but they didn't. Which leads me to believe they probably top-decked those mountains. Not sure how that changes anything, but worth noting. Boom Mobile. Alright. So they have 4 mana. They can deal 1 damage to me. That's probably going to get spun out. Yeah, this really doesn't do all that much. Only to activate abilities, so they're not going to be playing another 4 mana spell this turn. Yep, so they just ping me for 1, which is fine. And we're probably going to spin that out. I think we pass here. It's not like super great to do that, but it's fine. Intimidation Tactics is weirdly good here because I'm going to be using 3 mana on a spin out this turn. I just need to spend 1 mana on literally anything else to be efficient. Alright, we brick, which sucks. But the good news is they have basically nothing. They have a combat trick and a removal spell. Alright, so I'm gonna let them crew the Boommobile before I spin it out. There's no reason not to. Neither of these saves a thing. I'm going to have to be wary of that, because that could be like +3 damage at any point to anything. And Rider Spike Spitter. Alright, their engines are starting now, and if they get to max speed, that will be basically Phyrexian Arena. Alright, I was hoping they'd crew it with the Javelineer and we could slow them down even more, but gotta do what you gotta do. And I think this turn, if they attack with only the rat, I block, because I'm going to be playing another mole next turn. Alright, they attack with both, so this lets them... Alright, they could actually pedal to the metal, X = 0, get first strike. They can do that at any point. I think I prefer them to do it now. So this also saves me 4 life in the short term. Run over is fantastic here. I love to see that. So now we can kill the Javelineer. And get a land, I guess. That's fine too. Alright, Javelineer down. And unfortunately they are going to get up to 3 this turn. 5 damage to a target creature or planeswalker is a lot. They're going to pull the trigger on that now. Which does mean I don't get to trade with the Engine Rat. They're up to 3. This isn't drawing them a card yet, but it will soon. Very soon. Maximum Overdrive is not what I'm looking for here. I need basically creatures. Like my big creatures are going to beat them in combat. I just need to not die. Gaining 4 is huge. And they could have done that on their upkeep, I think. So this sucks for me because I have to say no blocks. This is like my only way of beating this. Actually, I could have blocked there and then brought it back with the engine. That was a mistake. That was a mistake, I think. So what can I get back? So, creature or vehicle from the graveyard. So I can get back an Earth Rumbler with this. Alright, give me another big guy. And and play a Loxodon Surveyor. So this can crew the Earth Rumbler on defense. And now I think we start pushing. We want to encourage them to either chump block with the Spike Spitter or just kill them. Would be fine too. So they don't have good attacks anymore. They don't have good attacks, but they are finding maximum overdrive, which is extraordinary for them. But if they attack, they die on the backswing. Hazoret Godseeker? Really? They have Hazoret Godseeker? That's messed up. So this is a swing for 8. That's brutal. So if I don't block, they put a counter and kill me. Which means I have to block. I have to block and find another point of damage somewhere. So they can do that anyway. Which does make combat a little bit easier for me. But I don't think we're going to quite get there. Yeah, we came up just a little bit short. So we have... I mean, we have 3 blockers. They can activate Engine Rat. They can activate Engine Rat to ping me for 2, and then all of their things are lethal attackers. And I only have 3 blockers, so we've lost. Freaking Hazoret, man. I was in such a good position there. Alright. Still a great draft for us, obviously. 5 and 3, not going to complain about. Let's unlock the Mastery Pass.
Sorry, Mom, but I have
and get a whole bunch of stuff.
it's not with your team.
And a whole bunch of packs. And some pretty good rares and mythics. And some styles, obviously. And there we go. Alright. So now that we've done that, we have enough to do 2 more drafts confirmed. So let's use a draft token. So use the draft token to get into another draft. And then we even have 1,500 gems, so we can do another draft after this as well. Alright, we are ready to go. Other people are also selecting ready. Except for the last 2 people, the last 1 person, who is being very slow about it. Which I will never understand. Like, the queue is literally like 10 seconds long. Surely you can wait for 10 seconds without wandering off. Why does this happen like every time? Genuinely, what takes so long? All right, we're gonna have to requeue. Nope. All right, the last person showed up. All right. We have Rise from the Wreck in the pack. Regal Imperiosaur is a 3-mana 5/4 though. I mean, come on. Like, gotta take the 3-mana 5/4, right? 3-mana 5/4 with upside? Sure. So what is our second color gonna be? We could go green blue, green black. I think while we're sitting here thinking, probably just going to take let's take spin out. It's like a decent removal spell. Alright, Hazard of the Dunes is a great pick here. It's not a dinosaur, but it is just like a very good card. Like the blue spells in here aren't really what you want for blue-green. I'm not super enthusiastic about red-green. The black spells in this are kind of bad-ish. Alright. Count on Luck, not really castable. Packdoll Terror could be a decent pick. Let's take Packdoll Terror. Do we take Murgonder Raceway? No, I think we just have to take Run Over, just like as a removal spell. And it's also green. So I don't like green white or green red. So it's green black or green blue are like the two that I'd prefer to play. Obviously, if I see like a crazy good crazy good white cards or crazy good red cards this late, it's probably going to end up being worthwhile. Alright, we spent a while thinking on a couple of our picks, and there are still no packs to be found. What is going on here? Alright, there's one person hoarding all of the packs, and then a couple other packs spread out across the rest of the table. Alright. Lots and lots of red rares are coming around. I mean, the red rares that are coming around are bad cards for limited, so it's not so surprising. Could just take Stall out and end up like blue-green exhaust. We've only picked 2 black cards and 3 green cards, so it's not like super hard to pivot out of one of our colors. It'd be rough to pivot out of both, but it is what it is. And like our green cards that we've picked are quite good. Gosh, the artifacts are coming around like crazy, and the colored spells really aren't. What is this? Pit Automaton. Alright, so this will be good if we end up in blue-green exhaust. So let's take that and see what happens. It's also like not terrible anyway. Not too sure what is going on with our deck at the moment. We're definitely going to be green something. But honestly, like, we might end up having to pivot out of green if we don't see any good green cards. It could be that everyone else at the table is picking green. Yeah, I'm not seeing any freaking green cards. We might pivot to blue-black. We might switch to blue-black and just have, like, artifact synergy. Features attack you. Those creatures get -1/-0. Exhaust. This card is good. It's exhaust synergies if we go blue-green. Let's take Midnight Mangler. It's a 2-mana 3/3-ish. If you squint. It does seem like green is probably out of the picture here. Like there have just been a ton of packs with no green cards in them. So I think we're probably pivoting to blue-black. So let's take Howler's Heavy. I don't love pivoting out of my Regal Imperious or Hazard of the Dunes run over start, but it seems like it might end up being necessary, unfortunately. Alright, I guess we take an artifact. I did pick a Pact Altera early, so that's pretty good for blue-black. Alright. 3-mana 2/2 flyer. And random white card and basic land. Lifecraft Engine. Alright, that card is not good. Another Pact Altera. We could take a second one of those. We could take a Grimbauble as removal. Let's take a second Pact Altera. Let's take a third Pact Altera. 3 is probably my cap. I'm not going to take a fourth. I do need other cards other than Pact Altera. Like I need artifacts. I would love to have some like max speed type stuff to really make this pop off. Alright, we are waiting on some more cards. Person in front of us has a pack, so we should be getting one soon then. Alright. Engine Rat is pretty good. Flood the Engine is pretty good. This would start engines. Let's take a Raceway, honestly. Just like start our engines on turn 1 and then later get some value. I don't know. That's a very good pack. Hopefully one of the things will wheel. Alright, Slick Imitator. 2 mana, start your engines. And max speed, you can copy a spell. That's pretty good. Skystreak Engineer is decent. Let's take the flyer. The other one seems very cute. I just don't know if it's going to be actually good. All right. Maximum Overdrive, Monument to Endurance, actually. No idea how this showed up this late, but we'll take that. I probably have some cycling in here somewhere. I have a Howler's Heavy. I have Howler's Heavy and a Stall Out, which can cycle. Honestly, like just taking that partially as rare drafting, but let's not worry about that. So our curve right now is kind of scuffed. We have lots of 2s, 3s, and 4s. You can pick up a Scrap Compactor as a 1-mana artifact for Pact Altair and as removal. That's pretty good. And a Repurposing Bay. We have 1-mana artifacts, 2-mana artifacts, and 3-mana artifacts. Like this low key works in the deck. Well, let's see if we can get anything out of that. Alright. Please pass me some more cards. Alright, Locust Spray is actually very good because it cycles for the monument and is also cheap removal. There's like a decent amount of 1 toughness creatures in this meta. We ran up against someone who had like all 1 toughness creatures a little while ago. Alright, Grim Bauble is also great removal. I love seeing that late. Seeing Grim Bauble late means that black is probably mostly open. Which I already suspected, but it's good to know for certain. Take Guidelight Optimizer for artifacts. We have a decent number of artifacts and like a decent number of exhaust stuff. The time limits are getting a bit tighter now. So I can't spend too much time thinking about every pick this late. Which is a bit awkward when there are multiple good cards. Roadside Blowout and Flood the Engines are both good. I'll take Flood the Engines. It's a more long-term answer. These cards are all worthless. These cards are all worthless. Yeah, let's put the green cards into the sideboard. All right, River Turn Monument. I don't think so. That seems way too ambitious. I guess what else good do we have? We have a Trip Up. Yeah, I can use a Trip Up. Stock Up is awesome. What else is there? Not really anything. Just gonna take the Better Divination. All right. Another Pact Altair. Probably not. Ether Siphon is way too slow. I think we probably just take Guidelight Optimizer. And let's see, Grim Javelineer has been very good for all of my opponents. Ticket Tortoise actually seems fine here. Like it's an artifact. Oh, it has Defender actually. Never mind. Let's take Bounce Off. And another Locust Spray. Alright. I guess this is actually pretty good. The exhaust cost there is quite cheap. Aside from Pact Altera, we do not have that much payoff in our deck. Like, we definitely aren't doing anything insanely Omega busted with artifacts. There's that one gold card that's like blue-black, make 2 Thopters, drain your opponent a bunch. I would love to have seen that at some point. It's probably too late now. Although you never know. I might be the only person in blue-black at the table. Gold cards are a lot more likely to wheel, especially this late. And there's still a couple packs I haven't seen. We have another Raceway. Or another Engineer. I think we take another Engineer. That card's pretty good. Another Repurposing Bay, but I think the Thopterist is the clear pick here. As funny as it would be to build double Repurposing Bay. Wreck Remover or Spell Pierce. Neither seems great. Alright, let's take... Stall Out is much better at actually slowing someone down for a long time than the Howler's Heavy. Alright, we are like super heavy blue. Like we have 3 Pact Alters. Yeah, like our early game is black, our late game is black, everything in the middle is blue. That's a bit weird. Probably gonna... Alright, yeah, none of these cards matter. None of these cards matter. Alright, probably not gonna run that many black sources in this deck. Although the early game removal makes me want to run black. So let's see, we have 46 out of 40. I think we can probably cut this and be fine about it. I mean, this is just ridiculous, right? There's no way that this card is good. And let's see here. We do want to keep artifacts when possible, so like Guidelight Matrix isn't exciting, but it's fine. Pit Automaton is actually pretty good, because I do have a fair amount of exhaust. Let's see here. Bounce Off is kind of low impact. They're just going to recast it. And I guess probably 3 mana sorcery speed removal isn't good enough. Repurposing Bay isn't good enough. Like, who am I kidding there? Like turning... Like, oh, I turned a Scrap Compactor into a Pit Automaton. Yippee! Although I guess that's an artifact creature, actually. I don't know. I kind of want to try it. And let's cut Stall Out. That card is not very good. I don't like temporary solutions to problems. I like permanent solutions to problems. So let's try this. If we can do Repurposing Bay shenanigans, it would be beautiful. How's Magic been treating you today? Really, really well so far. We did one draft and we went 5-3, which was pretty good. We're starting up our second draft now, and probably not going to go as smoothly. I don't think this deck is quite as good as the last one, but I've been having fun. Let's just put out the Scrap Compactor on one. Red whites, so alright. We got him. The Locust Spray is usable. Just kidding, I have a 1-3 anyway. So I want to Locust Spray this before next turn, before they can exhaust it. I mean, that's the most, like, world's most obvious combat trick. I'm not falling for that. Think I'm dumb. If they had already had start your engines going, I would have done something about that, but... Alright. I think we play the Pit Automaton to prep me for exhausting that in the future, or even activating Scrap Compactor. Would make that easier. And we have Locust Spray up. So I have let them untap, but now Locust Spray can beat the Surveyor as well, which probably not great, but alright, so I think if they attack with this, I'm going to let them do their thing, and then Locust Spray in response. Yeah, okay, so let's block there, let's block there. And you can put the exhaust trigger on the stack, and I will kill it. And if you don't do anything, you're just going to die. That's just going to die anyway, which is fantastic. The bad news about using Locust Spray is I don't get value out of my Monument to Endurance, but that's fine. Completely wasting a red-white opponent's early turn is huge. Alright, that dies. And I get to untap. So I could just exhaust this and start attacking myself. I don't know. Monument to Endurance seems more fun. And I have Scrap Compactor up as a removal spell because of this. Also, if I, like, wait... Do I just kill that? I think I just kill that. Let's just not worry about any of that stuff. And the next turn I probably play this. Start my engines, ping in for one. Alright, no, they have a sweeper. Okay. Well, that's a bit annoying. I have a 2/2 flyer and a Monument to Endurance if I ever draw a card with cycling. They draw two great cards. I draw Pact Altair, which does give me my speed for the turn. So that's pretty good. Unfortunately, no good attacks here. Also no good blocks. This has Saddle, put a 1/1 counter on something, and sack it to give creatures with counters hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. That's very strong. I would love to draw a card with cycling so I can get value out of the Monument. If we were just going to be swinging back and forth for 3 versus 2, I'm going to be in a bit of trouble. No blocks. When it enters, make a 1/1 Thopter with flying. Alright. That is not the cycler I wanted for Christmas. Still pretty good, though. Oh, shoot. I'm dumb. They can crew that. Oops. That's a pretty big mistake. So I lose my Pact Altair, which was like my best card. Vehicles, man. The good news is the Engineer is primed to shut down their attacks. So when I exhaust this, it'll be a 3/5, and it can block their Swiftwing Assailant. The 5/4 is a problem, though. I'm definitely not winning this race. That's bait, isn't it? No, it's probably not bait. It's probably just pushing damage. Oh, nope, it's bait. Alright. I've been got. I think I played pretty poorly this game. I feel like this loss is definitely my fault. That's not going to do anything. Alright. Take a defeat. I do not like taking round 1 defeats. We still have plenty of opportunities to win some games. Alright, this hand is fine. It's not amazing, but it'll probably not instantly die to my opponent playing 1 creature. I think we probably play the Engineer on 2 and then the Matrix on like 3-ish. Okay, opponent has a Scrap Compactor. And a Verge. So are they in black-white or are they just in black? Am I fine just playing my Engineer into the Scrap Compactor? I think so. I'm going to be stocking up next turn. So, like, it's fine to just, like, get cards out of my hand. Ether Jacket, fortunately, not a problem for me. Do I stock up this turn? Or do I just, like, kill their Ether Jacket and swing in for 1 and then play a Guidelight Matrix? This seems fine. I don't know if this card actually does anything in my deck. Like, I probably have some vehicles. So yeah, okay. They're just going to spend their turn killing my thing. Let's play... I mean, honestly, let's just, like, keep playing and grinding through and then stock up, like, as a finisher. And they're in 3 colors. So that's interesting. What if I attack you with a 3/4? And I should have played the stock up first. Take Monument and Thopterist and put some lands away. Can I trigger the Monument? Not currently, but it's a spell. Alright, they have a Wreck Remover. So that doesn't have flying or anything. So let's play Pact All Terror. Ping them for 1. Swing in for 1. And play Pit Automaton, ping them for 1. And this can like make the Grim Bauble activation cheaper. Oof, Voyage Home. That's spooky for me. I definitely didn't want to see that. Let's go to attacks. Push for more damage. They can block here. Just absorb some damage. Play a Monument. And a Aetherdrift. And maybe Pact All Terror wins me this game single-handedly. I'm going to upkeep stop for Grim Bauble. This doesn't add mana. Alright. Pact All Terror down. Wreck Remover is not scary. Broadcast Rambler is like kinda scary, mostly because it's a 5/4 that I forget exists. Let's pop the bauble. See if we can find something worth doing. Now the Pact All Terror is pretty good. Take that. Let's attack first. And this is really the only safe attack. And you thought this guy was gone. He's back. I have like a lot of cycling cards in my deck, and it's weird that I've not been able to trigger this monument either time so far. Right, they have a Pact All Terror of their own. And they still have 2 cards in hand. Another Voyage Home. Come on, man. That's devastating. So they've gained 6 life off of those and drawn 6 cards off of them. I had a land. So I can hang on. 4, 7, 8 mana, so I can actually do that. Do that. And I think we stack them up. Oh, it's this creature. Okay. So that's fine. I'm happy doing that anyway. Let's attack with the Thopter. If they want to trade, that's good for me. It makes this more annoying to crew. Otherwise, they take 1. They chump. I'm very happy with them chumping there. So now they have to use an actual creature to crew this, which is pretty useful. They don't have good attacks. They don't have good attacks, and I do have good attacks. And I have a 5/7, which is something. River Churn Monument? Oh god, I'm gonna get milled. I am totally gonna get milled out here, aren't I? I don't know. I can probably win the game relatively quickly. Another freaking Broadcast Rambler. Gosh. And they're just gaining life with this Pact All Terror. If I'm able to power through my opponent's 3-color deck, I'll be very happy. If I draw a cycling card, do I drain them for 2, for 3? Might be the play. Alright, that's not really what I'm looking for. But it's fine. I still have a 5/7. 5/7 flyer. And they're chump blocking again. That makes sense. River Turn is not going to take that long to kill me. They have a freaking combat trick. And now that's a 2/2 indestructible. That's brutal. That combat trick might win them the game. Also, my engines have just now started, I realize. I need something now. Like, this is a real threat. This is a very real threat of draining me out. And the Pact Altair, at least I don't control more lanes than them, so it's not pinging me twice. Another land. So this is the only good attack, and they can trade if they want. Alright, so they take the trade. And now I'm the only one with a flyer again. But they have the stupid monument. Okay, there goes a cycling card. They top deck another terror, which means, like, basically going to be impossible for me to race their life gain now. So that is going to mill me for equal to the cards in my graveyard. Alright. I guess Scrap Compactor. Which does drain them. And I can kill a Pact Altair. But I don't know how I'm going to ever erase this River Turn Monument. Like, I'm already like 1 or 2 turns away from being milled out. I feel like multiple turns ago we were so close. If they didn't have the double draw 3, gain 3, double Pact Altair, like if those were just like worse cards. Oh, Ether Siphon, mill me even more. Sure, that's beatable. So they don't have max speed, so that's not going to mill me quite yet, but it's also like basically Phyrexian Arena. They're never going to need to spend all of their mana on a given turn. And they draw their 3rd Pact Altair. And my friendly little Thopter buddy is not going to get me through this one. I have 13 cards in library. That'll put me to... Yeah, I'm dead on their upkeep, right? They mill me. They mill me again. Alright, well... I can repurposing Bay, I guess. But... yeah, I'm super dead here. Let's turn Guidelight Matrix into something. If I have a 3-drop artifact, which I might not. Actually, I can't remember. I think Monument to Endurance might be the only one. And very excited to fail to find. Yep. And I'm at 10. I have more cards in graveyard than in library, which means they untap, river churn me, mill me out, and I lose. Alright, another brutal loss. I feel like we almost had that. Our opponent's deck was completely nuts, and also they like managed a 3-color mana base. So yeah, that happened. We really need to get some wins on the board here. Otherwise, we're going to lose a whole lot of gems for this one. Alright, waiting on opponent. Found one. Alright, triple black, nothing until turn 3. It's not even good if we make it that far. Oh, I hate this. I don't think I want to go to 5. I think I want to just get lucky and draw a blue source. Nah, honestly, it's not your fault. Like, this just happens a lot. Like, this is magic. Alright, we got lucky and drew a blue source. See, you are not bad luck. Alright, let's play a Midnight Mangler, I guess. Alright, opponent is going to be blue-red. So they're going to be doing cycling things. Okay, no, they're 3-color. Or maybe that's just a land to gain a life because they're in blue. Either would make sense. Let's play the Buccaneer. So this can crew that. And now we can attack with a 3-power creature. Alright, they kill the Buccaneer. And we swing in. Alright, so next turn we probably stock up, unless we hit a land, in which case we probably Pact Altair. Alright, no, opponent is just 3-color. Noted. Alright, let's stock up. Pick probably... Alright, well, we can't pick 2 lands. We can't pick land second terror. That's pretty fun. I think we don't play the Scrap Compactor. Not when we have the Pact Altairs coming in. Okay, they have a mythic. That's fair and beatable. That has indestructible and a billion keywords. And it has an even number of counters on it, so it can block this turn. And now it gets a counter and they draw 2. What a messed up Magic card. Like I think this card is literally just unbeatable in draft. Like if your opponent gets to 5 mana on a vaguely stable-ish board and plays this, they win probably 99.8% of the time. Like even if it only triggers once, like okay, they drew 2 cards. And that's destroy target creature, that's indestructible. And that has trample as well, because of course it does. And it can attack this turn. Yep, and they have the removal for my Packdoll Terror. We are so unbelievably cooked here. Alright, that is Menace. I can block it. They can kill either one of these. Probably the Engineer, if I had to guess. Another land. Can activate this, I guess. I don't even know what I'm looking for at this point. I'm going to need a miracle. Locust Spray is definitely not a miracle. Basic Swamp, not either. So they're not going to be attacking with Sabsunin this coming turn. So they're going to probably exhaust this. Yep, so they exhaust that. So now I'm going to die to Sabsunin. I do think I technically have like a removal spell for this in my deck. I think I might have one of those auras that taps the thing. Okay, Monument to Endurance doesn't do it. And we do a brutal 0-3 drop to opponents playing Busted Mythics. And like 4 copies of the best common in the set. So yeah, that was unfortunate. Got nothing out of that one. Let's do another one. Right, waiting for opponents to show up. I would really love for green not to be completely pressed out this draft table. It is like clearly the best color. Boy, if I can find one of those Busted Mythics that win the game on their own, I would be very happy with that. All right. We managed to get in on the first try. So that's pretty cool. This pack is like weirdly bad. I guess we take... Like all these cards are kind of bad cards. Let's take Voyage Home. If we end up in blue-white, that card is insane. And Guidelight Pathmaker. I mean, this card isn't nearly as good, though. Let's take the Broadcast Rambler. That card's actually very strong. So we might end up in blue-white artifacts. We might end up copying, like, our opponent from 2 games ago with Esper artifacts. That might work out. Or we might pivot out of blue or white. Alright, let's see here. Scrounging Skyray is cracked. Like, this card is insane. I would love to go into like blue-red cycling. I think that deck is very, very strong. Waiting on other players to pass a draft pack. So yeah, when you're drafting, doing Premier drafts, you pick one card from a selection of cards at a time, and you pass them around the table, like so, and then you build a deck. And so currently I'm waiting for my opponents to not be slow. Alright, so are any of these cards good? Ride's End is like kinda good. Man, this pack is actually just like a bunch of bad cards. Let's take this, because it's like, it's a mediocre card as opposed to the rest of the cards, which are bad. It's pretty rare to see a pack like that this early, where it's not even like bad for your colors. Like, that pack is just bad. Alright. Haunted Hellride is very strong. It's in blue-black, though. This is, like, fine in cycling. It's pretty good, actually. Kickoff Celebrations is also very good. Yeah, let's say blue-red cycling is going to be what we're pushing for this time. I don't think it's never quite worked out for me, like, in terms of just finding the cards for it, but we're doing decently well so far. Mm-hmm. Alright. The person before me has 3 packs. Alright, let's see. We have that guy, which is not good for my deck. Slick Imitator is, like, maybe fine. What is this? 2-mana tap, make a pilot. Right, let's take Skystreak Engineer. That card is pretty good. Let's take a card that's removal and has cycling. Man, if I picked all the repurposing bays in the world, I would have so many repurposing bays. We're not going to take that card, though, because it's bad. We'll take a Ticket Tortoise instead. And Howler's Heavy. I guess we might end up in blue-black. Alright, Stock Up is lovely. Love to see that. First pick very easily. I feel like I see the same couple of rares. Like, I see tons of repurposing bays, tons of full throttles, not much else. Let's put these cards away for now. Okay, so this is probably fine. Yeah, this is probably fine. Bounce Off is not exciting. Howler's Heavy is not exciting. Let's take that. 2-mana creature. Alright, Boosted Sloop this late means at least those couple of people aren't in blue-red. Love to see that. Whenever you attack, draw a card, then discard a card. I need more payoffs for cycling. I only really have one. And that's whenever you discard one or more cards, you get a giant flyer and win the game with it. Alright. See if... What else do we need? We really need payoffs for cycling. We have a lot of cards that can cycle or do cycle adjacent things. Let's take Flood the Engine. That can be a pretty good removal spell. And I mean, taking good removal spells is fine. I would much prefer to have like more cycling payoffs. Very light on them at the moment. Yeah, I feel like I may have made a mistake going into blue-red. Is it too late to pivot back to blue-white? Probably. It's probably too late for that. I think we have to commit now. Trip up is fine. Alright, Magmakin Artillerist is decent. So that's another cycling payoff. It's not a good cycling payoff, but it is something. Alright, let's have a billion trip-ups. Another Artillerist is good. Howler's Heavy is playable-ish. Stall Out is kind of good. Right, we are getting some cards relatively late at least. Burner Rocket is probably not going to make the cut. And last card's a basic mountain. Fearless Swashbuckler. Alright, Fearless Swashbuckler is pretty great. Hull Drifter is also fantastic, though. Let's take the rare and cross our fingers and hope that the Hull Drifter wheels somehow, which it shouldn't. It would be insane. Let's take another Artillerist, I guess. Marauding Mako. That's great. Marauding Mako is excellent to see. Another Marauding Mako is incredible to see. Alright, Pack 3 has really gotten things together. Duretti enters or attacks, flips some artifacts back and forth. That's probably not very good. We're just going to take another Scrounging Skyray. Just all the cycling payoffs, please. Now I have a lot of cycling payoffs. I kind of want more like 1-mana cyclers, honestly. I have some stuff, like Boosted Sloop is very good at that. Alright, Lightning Strike is good. We definitely are short on removal right now. Random Counterspell? I think Random Counterspell. Curve is pretty low. We're definitely relying on synergy here. We have those 4 cards and 3 Magmakin Artillerists. The Artillerist is not that great. Like, it's technically a payoff, but not one you want to rely on. We did end up wheeling the Hull Drifter. That's crazy. Who lets that happen? This card is busted. Certainly not going to complain about wheeling a Hull Drifter. Is literally no one else in blue? That's the only way that makes sense. Let's just take a decent red card, I guess. Man, the Monument would be crazy this game. Start your engines land. Not exciting, but better than the rest of those cards. This land is actually excellent in my deck. And that's kind of bad. That's kind of terrible. And that is bad. Alright, so we did end up getting pretty much most of the way there. 8, 7, and 2 colorless. That's probably fine. I need 8 cuts. Ticket Tortoise is easily one of them. Burner Rocket is another. Gilded Goat is probably not good. Neither is Tyrox. Need 4 more cuts. Probably like... what to cut? Slick Imitator seems bad. Like, we need kind of big spells for that, and we have a lot of small spells. Spectral Interference seems decent, but probably cuttable. Stall Out is fine, I guess. I need 2 more cuts, and it's probably like... probably just Howler's heavy. Alright, let's see if we can get some wins with this. Alright, and the first game begins. And I would love to not go 0-3 this time. This hand is fine. Maybe. Is this fine? No, that's not good. Yeah, this is much better. We're going to throw away probably the trip up. We have a lot of 3-mana spells. So how do we want to order this? So that's cycles to each opponent. I think we probably lead on the artillerist. What's opponent doing? Jund? Why are you doing Jund? I think we lead on the artillerist, and actually we have our colors, right? Yeah, we can start our engines here. Play out a 1/4. Hopefully slow down their roll. And then next turn we go sloop, attack, trigger artillerist. That's bait, right? Alright. That's fine. It's a perfectly respectable 2-for-1. And let's play the swashbuckler out and swing for 3. And then next turn we can sloop. Alright, Gastel Thrillseeker is very, very scary. There's a very high chance we just get completely run over here. Ooh, the plow through is bad as well. Alright. Now I think we have to hold up trip up and stop them, hopefully, from getting max speed this turn. Alright. That is a big creature. Why does that have 2/1/1 counters on it? Alright, well, you go away for now. And I'm just going to die next turn. And I don't have max speed, so I can't do that. And the vehicle doesn't block. Alright. Opponent was playing a 3-color aggro deck in Limited, which is an objectively bad decision. And it paid off for them anyway, so, you know. Opponent's doing lucky things. Triple artillerist. This is an easy mulligan. Alright, this hand is insane. Let's throw back that card. We top deck a Hull Drifter. That's a good sign. Alright, so they get a vehicle. They're doing black-white. If they have to be playing Spot Cycle Scouters in black-white, that's probably pretty good for me. Alright, double top is a little bit worrying. Alright, let's get our guy. Alright, Grim Javelineer. No blocks. So this can reasonably block. It also starts my engines, and I can chip in for 1 there. So this is a perfectly acceptable thing to just block with and trade with the 3/2. So next turn we can play the Swashbuckler and hopefully get something off of it. It's kind of hard to set up. And Crew 3 is also kind of hard to set up. Alright, take the block. And they can surveil 1. Fine by me. The fact that I haven't managed to cycle anything at all so far is not encouraging. Opponent is thinking forever on their surveil. For ultimately putting a swamp in the graveyard. Mechanic and hollow 1 vehicle. Alright. Let's play a 3/3 haste. And now we have a decent attack. And if we draw a land, oh boy. If we draw any land in the deck, we can Hull Drifter, crew the Hull Drifter, attack for a bunch, trigger Fearless Swashbuckler. Now the bad news is that is going to set up their last ride, which I don't like. I think we might actually have to pump the brakes a little bit here. Okay. We didn't draw a land anyway. So let's flood the mechanic. And I guess we can chip in for 1 here. I don't know. They're going to be able to draw a card off of the last ride now and turn it into a 1/1. And then do that again next turn and make it even bigger. Yeah, I think we lose to this. Just casual mythic again, by the way. I don't think I've even had the option of selecting a playable mythic in all of my drafts that I've done of this set. I've had playable rares, and I've had unplayable mythics. So that can't really attack. That can attack. Do I have to block this? I think I have to, unfortunately. It's brutal, but I cannot just be taking damage. Alright. We find the land. Can we afford to Hull Drifter here? Yeah, probably. If we can't afford to Hull Drifter here, we definitely lose the game anyway, so may as well. I think we have to no attacks and plan on doing a chump block, potentially. Like, if they start powering up this last ride, I'm in serious trouble. If it's just 2, I can take 2, though. Excuse me? Crew 3. Flying First Strike lifelink. Okay. Sure, why not? I don't have the mana to Boosted Sloop plus Trip Up. I do have the mana to Skystreak Engineer plus Trip Up. Do I even attack here? I think the answer has to be no. And I have to trip up the Valor's Flagship. Opponent casually playing 2 busted mythics in their deck. And also, like, not doing it right. They should have activated the last ride multiple times to draw a bunch of cards. Alright, artifact spells they cast cost 1 less. Yep. Now, I'm assuming they're just going to crew up Valor's Flagship and go to town. Oh, they're going to crew up both of those and go to town. Okay. Good old Interface Ace doing busted things. Alright, you can go away. And this is before the Lynx trigger, so now they can't easily... Alright, they did... It's not a May. That's actually huge. I think this is safe. But they still have the last ride. They're still drawing a billion cards. So I can play this out. And make an attack. And get a counter. Alright. It's not over until it's over. And smack you down to 12. Does that have lifelink? Yeah, that has lifelink. That's why. None of this stuff has reach, though. Now I can play a land and pass. And I have crew boosted sloop and trip up for blocks. So I should be safe here. And they drew another land, which is great. Alright. They can start embalming things. Well, that's horrifying. So I guess I can trip that up and remove it permanently. Or I could do the same thing as last time. I could do the same thing as last time. Oh, I missed the opportunity. Okay. Let's... Yeah, let's just chump here. And cycle. So we can cycle this trip up to discard a card and pump the Skyray. And we find another Skyray, which... Oh, I think we have to cycle for a counter. I think the counter is better than the second body at this point. Alright. Artillerist can be a creature. And this time I think we pass and have a giant creature on blocks. We'll see what they do. Alright, so they're saddling the Lynx. But that's not a good attack. So if I can Lightning Strike and get them, then that's great. So what are they going to be putting this +1/+0 on? Onto the Lynx. Alright, let's pass to blockers and block there and there. Take 2. And they're going to have a combat trick, probably. No, they have 2 planes. Alright, they are up to 18, which is a large number. And they're just going to make a 1/1. This last ride is gonna... I don't know how I'm gonna get through that. Let's draw a card with the Surveyor. That seems fine. A Raceway, that's not really what we want here. So let's swing in with the Artillerist to get an attack trigger. So we can draw and discard, which buffs the Skyray and pings them. And they can obviously just block with the interface Ace, which is fine. Do I Lightning Strike that in response? Probably not. Alright, when this enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2. Goodbye, Amonkhet Raceway. Hello, 2 more useful spells. Let's play out another Artillerist. And unless something goes crazy, we're going to be cycling the stall out. Now they're taking 2 per cycle. I just realized I don't have any red mana available. Is that fine? Alright. They have a Calaxion. I'm just going to probably just Lightning Strike that. They have a 5/4 flyer, notably not bigger than my Skyray. And they're drawing a card. Do I have lethal? If I stall out the Synergist... See how they attack first. Alright. They're going to play a Basri, which exerts to make a cat. Alright, so what is this? Sacrifice to give stuff haste. Alright, so if I stall out the Synergist... They don't have a flying blocker. And then I attack with the Skyray. Draw a card, discard a card. Put a counter on the Skyray, deal 7, Lightning Strike them for 3, and they die? Alright, they activated last ride just like 2 or 3 too many times there. Yep, they can have their 12-12. All right. We got a win on the board. That's huge. Oh boy, silver 3. Silver 3. That's not an embarrassing position to be on the ladder. Not at all. All right, we got a win on the board. Need a bunch more games like that. Although preferably with my opponent playing less rares, because they played like 4 rares that game, and all of their rares were playable. So preferably someone with a bunch of like mediocre commons and uncommons. Alright, we have a turn 2 Skyray, turn 3 kickoff celebrations, and hopefully find something from there. Opponent is green-black. So the good news is green-black isn't super aggressive. The bad news is they have a lot of removal. Let's play that out. Next turn, I guess we'll probably boosted sloop then, since we drew it. Alright. And we attack. We are going to discard... We're going to discard the Surveyor. That'll be value if we ever get max speed. And the next turn we play Artillerist and do it again. Something, whenever you attack, deals 1 damage to each opponent. And it makes all of that deal additional damage. Okay. That's probably fine. We're going to see if we can just beat them up a lot. Probably Trip Up is the worst. So the goal here is to be the beatdown. Opponent's playing Jund. So next turn we can flood the engine, play a second. We can get rid of that permanently. We can play a second Skyray. Alright. That's 1 Skyray down. And an Elvish Refueler. Alright, they don't attack with him. I'm just gonna take the free block. Alright, now we deal with that guy. Play a land, play a Skyray. Tap the Skyray to crew that guy. And swing in. This is decent. Alright, so next turn we can kick off celebrations. Good chance we end up discarding that to it. Opponent is playing Jund. And they have all their colors. They have the Refueler, which is terrifying. So that is just going to keep getting bigger every turn, I guess. Which I don't love, but I do have a flyer, so hopefully we can just win in the air. It's out of range of Lightning Strike now, which is notable. Alright. Destroy target vehicle. That's incredibly good for them. Let's kick off celebrations. Get rid of a land drop. Alright, Marauding Mako is decent. Stock up is the real prize here. Let's go to combat and attack for 3 in the air. And post-combat stock up. Yikes. Well, we certainly got land, which we can use to play the Mako. So now I think on our turn we probably cycle the Artillerist. Alright, yep, that's some exhaust synergy right there. I think we cycle the Artillerist, and that might be enough to kill them, honestly. Like, we cycle the Artillerist, we probably activate the Raceway. Swashbuckler isn't going to be relevant. Alright. I got a couple of triggers. Oh, the Lightning Strike. That's huge. And put you to 1. And yeah, literally any cycle at this point kills them, including the Raceway. That was a good game. We are putting wins on the board here. We're up to like, what, 2-1 now? Yeah, we're up 2-1. Getting our daily wins. Alright, the next win is the big one. It's I think the biggest jump in the entire chain, plus 750 gems and a pack. Or no, just plus 750 gems, but still, it's a huge jump. So let's try to get that. All right, we have turn 1 Mako, turn 2 probably cycle Artillerist, and yeah, we'll find a we'll find a blue source at some point. Now, if they deal with our Mako, we're in a bit of trouble. They're red-white. All right, blue source acquired. All right, let's cycle the Artillerist, ping you for 1, which conveniently helps with my engines. I'm not going to attack. I think that trade is very good for them. Because my Mako is, presumably, if it survives, going to be a very big creature. It's even worth letting them get the speed up. Alright, let's attack. And consider lightning striking. Alright. They have Ride's End. In that case, I think I play the Surveyor. Alright, they have a Lightning Strike, which is not... Lightning Strike going to the Surveyor is not the worst thing in the world by far. Alright, the Sloop is a pretty inconvenient draw. I think we flood that. I don't know. It's probably better to Lightning Strike it, but Lightning Strike is more mana efficient. And it also can go face. We've won a couple games now by going face with Lightning Strike. Alright, Ether Jacket. So they are probably going to get max speed soon. Or not. So we have a 1-3. We still have only a single island, which is a touch awkward. Alright, they have flooded out. They have 6 lands and a detention chariot. Alright, that's going to be trouble for me. I think I'd just kill that, honestly. It's not like the most exciting thing to kill, but it is what it is. I need something that can attack. So literally any creature lets me start cycling. But they get a 1-1, which can fire up the chariot. And a 2-1 haster. Alright. That's pretty bad. I'm almost certainly going to lose this game. Alright, we draw the second blue source. But all we can do is Hull Drifter. And die. Alright, that's rough. Still have one more chance. One more chance to 3-3. Yeah, so if we 3-3 this, the day overall is pretty successful. If we 2-3 this, the day overall is kind of bad. So basically everything comes down to this game in particular. Obviously if we win this game, then we get more to push it into a good day, as opposed to just like a decent one. But this game is very important. And we have, like, nothing early. I hate this. We can keep this, cycle a trip up, maybe. I don't know. Opponent's also playing blue-black. So yeah, we're going to cycle a trip up on their end step. They do be rampant, though. Alright, we do not find the red source. We do find the third land. So if we can find a red source, a lot of our problems get solved. Because we can, like, kick off celebrations. Alright, we don't hit a land. We hit another blue source. Now our flyers get to sit here and stare at each other for a while. Oh, Gearseeker Serpent. Well, that's going to eat a Flood the Engine. I do need to hit... I need to hit a red source at some point, like in the course of this game. Carrion Cruiser... They milled 2 and didn't get anything out of it. Alright, we get a castable spell. So if we can find a red source, we're in pretty good shape. That's all we need. We just need to top deck a mountain. And then we can play Boosted Sloop and be off to the races, pretty much. I think we take that block. Now, when we do find the red source, we're going to have to figure out what to do with it. I think the answer is Boosted Sloop. It might be Kickoff Celebrations. Alright, they reanimate the Carrion Cruiser and get back a Transit Mage. We, meanwhile, find another uncastable spell. Ugh. Disgusting. What do they find off of this? They find a Hull Drifter, and they can play it immediately. You've got to be kidding me. Opponent's deck is cracked. Yeah, I just have to take this. I need this Skyray to go crazy to have any chance at all. Okay, the Mako is cyclable at least. So at least it is anything that I can do. Another uncastable spell. Hooray! I do love drawing uncastable spells instead of literally any red land. Okay, and now my Skyray is gone for the foreseeable future. Alright. They are going to get a ton of damage in. And probably almost... Yeah, I think there's no way I can survive next turn. Lands, am I right? Can't believe it. All I needed, like, if I had drawn a red land in, like, 10 draws. How many draws? Yeah, literally the top half of my deck. Then maybe I can do something. No, I absolutely did not have fun that match. God, I hate stupid best of one. Like... My opponent's deck was cool. I want to play more against it. But nope, I just can't. Too bad. Sorry you wanted to have fun playing Magic the Gathering. You drew all blue sources. Alright, well, on that extreme disappointment of an ender, we're going to end the stream here. I will be back tomorrow playing Satisfactory at 2. And then we'll be back playing Magic on Thursday. So if you're interested in either of those, make sure to follow